Shares of JM Smucker edging slightly lower this morning, off just over 1% after reporting third quarter results that beat on both the top and bottom lines. Now the company also looking to maintain some of its momentum against a pressured consumer environment. Joining us now, we want to bring in Mark Smucker. He's the president and CEO of the JM Smucker Company. And we also have Yahoo Finance's very own Brooke DePalma joining us here on set. Mark, it's great to have you. Overall, it's a strong quarter here for JM Smucker. Clearly, that demand remains, a lot of that being tied to some of your frozen offerings as well as pet food. I'm curious what you can share just about some of the trends that you're seeing from the consumer and how it differs than what we saw 3 to 6 months ago.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me. First of all, our portfolio is very strong. You know, we've been on a journey for the last 3 years, totally reshaping our business, divesting some assets, and really focusing on those categories and brands which are going to drive growth. Obviously, recently added the Hostess business through acquisition. So whether it's pet snacks, cat food, coffee, Uncrustables, and now sweet baked snacks, our portfolio is incredibly well positioned, and our focus on our marketing and sales capabilities and just that blocking and tackling has really helped to drive this growth and give us confidence in the future growth. The consumer, as you highlighted, in some cases is a little bit stressed, but our portfolio is broad and we offer affordable options all the way up to premium options in each of those businesses.
And as you look at Hostess and you sort of work towards finalizing that acquisition, you do plan to significantly increase marketing. You said that at CAGNY last week. Talk us through the pricing strategy for Hostess and how this marketing will help gain new customers to the JM Smucker portfolio.
Yeah, first of all, Hostess is a great brand. Obviously, it reaches consumers who are looking for an indulgent occasion during the day. The brand itself is very strong. Pricing is about where it needs to be, and we will step up marketing over time in that brand, as well as continuing to keep that fast cycle innovation that Hostess has been so good at.
And Mark, whenever we think about this company, and I'm so glad to see on the investor relations page, by the way, Uncrustables getting the right shine that they deserve as that header photo, because we know how good the strawberry Uncrustables are. But that aside, the frozen category particularly is always of interest, especially for consumers who are looking to add more shelf life to their purchases as a value hack, as they're being more value conscious. Where do you identify even more perhaps opportunities within that arena?
You know, we're laser focused on Uncrustables. We are now meeting demand. We are producing millions of sandwiches a day. We're about to, in the next year, open our third plant in Alabama to continue to meet the demand. So we are focusing first and foremost on peanut butter and jelly, peanut butter and honey, and we'll be bringing new flavors and executions to bear. We have a reduced sugar option as well. So there's so much runway on Uncrustables because it meets so many need states, whether that's the parent on the go, a lot of athletes consume the product, students in universities and K through 12 schools. There's just a tremendous amount of upside for Uncrustables.
Okay, so leaning more on the peanut butter and Uncrustables, does that mean sunsetting or moving away from some of the ham or the cheese and Uncrustables?
We don't have any of those items now. We did temporarily launch some different formats to test those, and you might recall they were in a different form, a roll-up.
Yes.
They did well, but we found that the runway is really on that soft bread, circular sandwich with the crimp, and so continuing to push out on that form is really where our focus is.
Mark, I'm just looking forward to the Jif and chocolate that's set to come out later on this year. I do want to quickly pick your brain about coffee. We did see coffee margins improve. You did pass along some cost savings in Q3, but saw a slight dip in volume there. How do you view pricing going forward, and can consumers expect to pay less this year for their can of Cafe Bustelo, particularly my mom?
Well, thank you for being a consumer. You know, we did reduce prices on coffee in the last 6 months because the commodity had come down, and our growth trajectory on coffee continues to be driven by K-Cup across all of our brands. Bustelo is double digit. Dunkin' has returned to growth as we've gotten the pricing right, the relative pricing on Dunkin'. And we're now in the liquid coffee space. So we launched multi-serve large bottles of Dunkin', now the #2 brand in the coffee aisle in liquid. And we are bringing out the liquid Bustelo executions in the next several months. So you'll be seeing those on shelf as well.
Ooh, okay, all right, looking forward to that. J.M. Smucker Company CEO Mark Smucker and Yahoo Finance's Brooke DePalma. Thanks so much for the time this morning.
Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely.